Thank you, Mr. Chair. I stood before this committee 6 years ago to speak in favor of a similar resolution, the Convention of States resolution at the time. It was HCR 4, and the main sponsor was the Honorable Frank Edelblut. Some of you may know him as our Education Commissioner now. It passed this committee unanimously, OTP. It got held up administratively, and on the floor of the House in one of those marathon sessions before the crossover, it got tabled because a small number of representatives threatened to filibuster at 7 p.m. at night, and everybody wanted to go home and have dinner and see their family. I don't want that to happen again. But ask yourself this: in the 6 years since this committee said this should pass, OTP, unanimously, has the debt been reduced? No. Has the federal government overreached? Less. No. Is the influence of lobbyists and dark money on incumbent politicians less? No. Everything has gone in the wrong direction, and you have the power to start the wheel turning that gives the American people the opportunity to right this ship. The Constitution gives state legislatures the co-equal responsibility with Congress to propose amendments, not to do anything else other than to propose them. Congress can do it directly. You can do it through a convention of states. Please do your duty and forward HCR 1 with a unanimous agreement that it ought to pass the House. And please get it on the calendar early so we don't get jammed up in the crossover period. Thank you.
Thank you. Take any questions? Are there any questions? So Carrie.
So why do you think this has repeatedly failed here in New Hampshire?
As I said, we've got a small group of folks who oppose a convention on what I would call emotional terms. They're convinced that it would run away. They're convinced that it would be a danger to the Constitution, especially to the Second Amendment, both of which are bunk, but they're convinced, and no amount of facts, no amount of history, as Dr. Ferris talked about, will sway them. And that's why it has to, if it needs to go to a full debate on the House so that all the House can talk to this minority, make up their own minds, and have a reasonable time to debate and vote on it, I think that's the best thing that can happen.